Welcome to your quiet escape into the world of ancient myths. Here, the timeless stories of Greek, Norse, Egyptians, and Japanese legend unfold tales of gods, heroes, creation, and mystery passed down through centuries. Each episode invites you to journey through old worlds and forgotten realms as the night settles in. Get comfortable and let tonight's myth guide you gently into dreams. Before history was written, before cities rose like citadels against the sky, before blood was spilled in the name of power, there was a promise that the world could be ordered by wisdom rather than cruelty. This is the story of Quetzalcoatl, the Feathered Serpent, the bringer of knowledge, the bearer of destiny. This is not merely a myth. This is the myth of the shaping of humanity itself. Long before humans walked the earth, the cosmic sea churned beneath an endless night. From that dark, limitless expanse arose the gods, timeless spirits of wind, fire, water, and stone. Highest among them was Creator, known by many names, but in this tale as Omityotl, the dual force of existence and possibility. Omityotl pondered the void and spoke, "Let there be light, let there be order. Let there be beings who can learn and grow." From the breath of Omityotl emerged two spirits, male and female, in perfect balance. These twin forces gave rise to the first pantheon. Among them were gods of rain, maize, and jaguar. But none stood so tall in grace and in purpose as the feathered serpent, born of wind and sky, gliding between earth and heaven. He was named Quetzalcoatl, the serpent of plumed glory, with scales like emerald dawn and feathers bright as sunlight. He embodied both heaven and earth. At first, the earth was a place of silence. No rivers ran, no forests grew, no life stirred beneath the soil. So the gods gathered and decided to shape the world. Quetzalcoatl, a monstrous being of earth and hunger, offered her back as land. Her yawning mouth became mountains and valleys. Her shoulders rose like plateaus. But even after the land was formed, it remained barren, empty of life. The gods divided their work. The god of rain summoned the waters. The spirits of fire warmed the ground. The winds danced through valleys, and through them all Quetzalcoatl walked, pondering a deeper design. He saw that the land could hold life, but only if beings rose who could understand beauty and wisdom. Thus he resolved to forge humanity. But the task would require sacrifice, courage, and fire. Quetzalcoatl knew that to shape life from dust required blood, the sacred essence of the gods. He approached Tezcatlipoca, his brother in the pantheon. Tezcatlipoca was fierce, a spirit of destiny and night. "Brother Quetzalcoatl said, 'Teach me how to give life.' Tezcatlipoca answered, 'All creation requires a debt. Are you prepared to pay it?' 'I am,' Quetzalcoatl replied. But Tezcatlipoca tested him. He brought forth a mirror of obsidian and told Quetzalcoatl to look into it. From the glass came reflections not of form, but of fear, regret, and longing. Quetzalcoatl stood unmoved. "I see not my face," he said, "but the possibilities of all who would live." Impressed by his resolve, Tezcatlipoca agreed to help. They descended to the cavern where cosmic fire slumbered a flame older than time itself. Tezcatlipoca struck the ground with his obsidian blade. The earth trembled. At the heart of the chasm, fire erupted. Quetzalcoatl approached it. He dipped his own sacred blood into the flames. From that burning promise rose the spark of life itself. With that fire in hand, he shaped the first humans from maize and clay. They breathed, they walked, they learned, and they looked up at Quetzalcoatl with wonder. Quetzalcoatl did not stop at mere existence. He walked among these new beings like a teacher, gentle, patient, wise. He taught them how to plant maize so fields would flourish, how to read the dance of the stars, how to shape tools from stone and bones, how to weave tales of courage and heart. He taught them to speak, to honor the earth, to cherish the wind. And in every village, people gathered to hear his voice, a sound as warm as sunrise on cool soil. Many offered him gifts, many built shrines in his name. But Quetzalcoatl would say only, "I give nothing that you have not already earned. I merely remind you who you are." And the people prospered. Rice fields and forests shared their bounty. Birdsong filled the dawn. Rivers ran clear, yet whispers drifted among the gods. Not all were pleased. Tezcatlipoca watched from his obsidian throne in the night. He saw people flock to Quetzalcoatl. He saw laughter and peace. But he saw something deeper, the unspoken truth that life must always be tested. And so he forged a challenge. He walked unseen into the hearts of humanity. He whispered doubts. Why should life be easy? Why should joy come without price? Life must be tempered by responsibility. In the marketplace, he sowed envy. In the fields, he whispered complacency. In the temples, he fed the flames of ambition. And soon, though the people worshipped wisdom, divisions began to form. Quetzalcoatl felt the unease like a distant storm. He went to Tezcatlipoca. "You have stirred unrest among my people," he said. Tezcatlipoca only smiled, for he believes that strength emerges from the struggle, not the garden. He replied, "Only when shadows touch the light do we know the sun's worth." But Quetzalcoatl could not accept this. In his heart, he believed that harmony, not strife, would shape the destiny of humankind. And so he made a fateful choice. Quetzalcoatl challenged Tezcatlipoca, not in battle, but in meaning. He said, "Let the world choose, chaos and conflict, or wisdom and compassion." The gods gathered. Voices clashed like thunder. The earth trembled, and from the chaos, a verdict was reached. In a voice that echoed across valleys and plains, the divine will was declared. Quetzalcoatl must descend from heaven and walk the world as a mortal. There he shall prove whether humanity can honor wisdom without divine compulsion. Quetzalcoatl bowed, not in defeat, but in acceptance, for he understood that even gods must walk among creation to understand it truly. With a final gaze upon the temples and the starlit sky, he descended. He became flesh. He became vulnerable. He became one with the land he had helped shape. As a mortal, Quetzalcoatl traveled through valleys and mountains. He walked among farmers in the sunrise chill. He walked through marketplaces where laughter and sorrow intertwined. He saw children born and elders pass on. Each heart beat a rhythm he had once known only conceptually. He taught still, but now he also listened. He heard stories of loss and longing. He wept with those who had no comfort. And he realized wisdom is not merely teaching. Wisdom is compassion in action. Word spread of the gentle teacher who carried neither crown nor weapon. Villagers named him the Wandering Spirit. Some wept at his passing. Some asked him to stay. But Quetzalcoatl, though humbled, carried a burden heavier than sorrow. He must prove that even without godly power, the world could choose light. For years he walked. He preached kindness. He healed wounds. He listened. Yet always he heard echoes of conflict. One day, on a stone terrace under the fading sun, he paused and asked himself, "Is wisdom enough?" And in that question, he reached a truth heavier than any he had known in heaven. After many seasons had passed, messengers came. They brought tidings of war and ruin. Empires clashed. Rivers turned red. Forests caught flame. Humanity, it seemed, stood on the edge of forgetting the wisdom Quetzalcoatl had taught. In his grief, he raised his eyes to the heavens, and the winds, his oldest kin, whispered, "Return home. Return to who you are, so that they may remember." Quetzalcoatl stood upon a high cliff as sunrise lit the world. With neither sorrow nor triumph, only purpose, he spread his arms. The wind carried him upward, up and up, until land became memory and sky became awe. At the threshold of the celestial realm, he paused, and spoke, not to the gods, but to the world. "I remain with you wherever kindness lives. I remain in every heart that chooses compassion. And when the world forgets, I shall return again." Like a plume of celestial wind, he vanished into the luminous dawn. The gods welcomed him not as a deity of heaven only, but as a bridge between worlds, thought and being, honor and humility, spirit and flesh. To this day, people speak his name in whispers and in song. When corn ripens under the harvest moon, when children laugh in the streets, when the wind brushes past your cheek, Quetzalcoatl is present, not as a distant god, but as an echo of what humanity can choose to become. Light is not given, it is forged. Wisdom is not owned, it is shared. And compassion is not easy, it is brave. So when the dawn breaks and light returns, remember the feathered serpent, the one who walked among us and taught us how to become more than we knew. Every myth is a mirror, not merely of what once was, but of what can be. And as you listen, let your own journey begin.